We just saw the first ABS challenge in an official Major League Baseball game, and it worked great, which is unsurprising because the system has always worked great. The automatic ball strike system is something that exists in minor league baseball right now, and it has gone very well, and should be in MLB soon because umpires are not that great. In the All-Star Game, we saw how effective this system really is, and how much these players actually know the strike zone, which they don't get to show off very often, because if they do take a borderline pitch, right now there's a pretty solid chance that the umpires are gonna get it wrong, and the player's eye will be discredited because the umpire says they're wrong, when a lot of the times they're right. Now, in the All-Star Game, we saw this in full effect. Now, there were 5 challenges and 4 of them were successful throughout the All-Star Game, which means that 80% of them were accurate. Now, the great thing about this challenge system compared to the other challenge system that we have in Major League Baseball, where they go to replay review and it might take a minute or two, this challenge is done within 10 seconds. It goes on the big jumbotron, it shows whether it's in the strike zone or not, and then they go off of that. And that's that. It's that quick. You can see it on screen from start to finish how fast this system really works. It's crazy, and it makes the players more accurate. Each team started with 2 challenges, and if they got it right, they get to continue challenging, and if they got both of them wrong, they lost their challenges and couldn't do it throughout the game. So you have to be patient and really make sure that you're using your challenge in the right spot. Now, the first challenge came in the first inning with Tarik Skubal on the hill. Manny Machado was in an 0-2 count when the umpire missed strike 3, so Cal Raleigh, the catcher, tapped his helmet and initiated the challenge. The graphic was put on the jumbotron showing that the ball did in fact clip the strike zone, and that meant that the call would be overturned and Manny Machado was struck out. The system was fast, effective, and correct as everyone would expect it to be. A few innings passed without a challenge until Jacob Wilson stepped into the box, and the 1-0 pitch was called a strike, even though it was a ball. Wilson, knowing that the ball was low, tapped his helmet and a challenge was initiated. And instead of the count being 0-2, the count was now 1-1 after the call was overturned. This might not sound that important, but just to put it in perspective, Jacob Wilson is batting .324 in an 0-2 count, which that is still very good of course, but he's slugging just .353 in that count, which is not good. We're in a 1-1 count, Jacob Wilson is batting .389, which is significantly better, and he's slugging .472, which is over 120 points higher than his slugging in an 0-2 count. So statistically, there is a big change in this strike going one way or the other. And again, by rule, Jacob Wilson was right for not swinging at that pitch. It was not a strike, but the umpire would have punished Jacob Wilson incorrectly had this system not been in place. However, the system was there, so Wilson ended up getting his call correct. There were a few other challenges throughout the game, and they all worked super effectively. Edwin Diaz challenged the ball in the 9th inning and it was overturned and ended up being a strike 3 to end the inning, and we saw one in the 8th inning where the challenger did not have the call go in his favor. Kyle Stowers tapped his helmet and he thought that strike 3 was a ball, however it wasn't, so it wasn't overturned, and again it was done in 10 seconds. While I've been talking, I've been showing some bad calls that were not overturned because the ABS system was not in place, and you can see by the players' reaction that they know that these are wrong calls. So if they were able to overturn and challenge these, they would be, and the calls would be turning into the correct call instead of these fake incorrect calls. That is extremely valuable for Major League Baseball, and it makes the game so much more fair. And it's also more fair to umpires, because if you're looking at these calls, they expect you to be down to centimeters accurately, and the robot can do that very easily, but the human eye cannot. So it's not saying that robot umpires should take over baseball at all. I don't think that they should take over baseball in general whatsoever, but I think to make it more fair to the umpires, because umpiring is an extremely difficult job and they get scrutinized for messing up these calls that are really humanly impossible, I think it just makes it way more fair to give the umpires this leeway in this challenge system, so that if they mess up a call that they think is wrong, or the batter thinks that they're wrong, it can be overturned, and it isn't going to put an umpire in as many situations where he can mess up an at-bat, a game, an inning, anything. It just makes it more fair to umpires and for them to do their job at a higher level and correctly. And if by the 9th inning a team wasted both of their challenges and the umpire got it wrong, then it's on that team for not saving the challenges for an important part. But again, all of these that I'm showing you right now, they're wrong and they weren't overturned. And how fair is it to the umpire? Not super fair, because a lot of these are very close pitches. But again, by rule, they're not strikes. Rob Manfred, the commissioner of Major League Baseball, said that he's going to propose this change to come into place for the 2026 MLB season, which is the next season after this one. And I think that that would be phenomenal, because I think that this system is one of the best things that baseball could possibly add to make the game more fair and more enjoyable for the fans to watch. So let's see where this goes, but I really like what I saw from the ABS system in the All-Star Game, and I think it will just be an amazing change. Let me know what you think though in the comments. Thanks for watching.